Okay, so I welcome you all in this soapbox of candidates who are contesting in the department election of 2020. So I will just once again explain how we'll be proceeding. So in the first 3 minutes, every candidate will be giving the opening statement in which he has to introduce himself and mention the key initiatives. Then there will be two questions from council members or from the questions collected through Google form, and two live questions will be taken from the participants have to keep write down the questions in chat. The chat has been enabled, and I will pick up the question from the chat and it will be asked to the candidate. The candidate gets a maximum of 2 to 2.5 minutes for defending the question, and at the end, a closing statement of 2 minutes is to be given by the candidate. So let us start. I will request Samarth to start his video and to give his opening statement in 3 minutes.
Thank you, Onkar. My name is Samarth Bhatia, and I am contesting to be elected as a PhD representative for this current year. I'm doing my first year PhD in transportation systems engineering, and being a PhD student myself, I know that the PhD students often tend to spend the maximum time in the department, and they so face various difficulties at the various stages throughout their PhD. So I intend to address all these issues faced by the PhD students at various stages, and I'm also dedicated to work for the betterment of the department through formation and implementation of these progressive policies for the benefit of the stakeholders. Among the various things that I want to take up, a few things that I've listed also in my manifesto include provisions of contingencies, for example, funds for stationery for the PhD students, increased inter-departmental interactions among the research scholars, to organize expert talks to have a practical exposure of the PhD students to the real world problems and real world scenarios on field, addressing the issues related to the national conference fundings and creation and updation of the websites. Also, currently we are working through the online mode, so there are various new type of difficulties that are faced by the PhD students. So I also intend to take up these issues subjectively and then work for the betterment of the system as a whole. From various non-academic things, I pitch for creating and promoting spaces where the interaction among these PhD students can take place, maybe in an informal way. Resolution of the issues that are pertaining to the civil cafeteria, which has been long time lingering around. Provision of tea and coffee vending machines for the PhD students, especially because they tend to spend a lot of time even in the late hours. And promoting of sports activities, which do act as a stress busters, because we tend to work in an environment where these things lack. If we promote the sports activity, it can help us for our physical as well as mental well-being. So also the thing, one of the things is relaxing the attendance timing, especially for the PhD scholars, because they do not have any fixed work schedules, and stringent attendance timings would hamper their like they are generally often they miss the attendance or they face some problems like stipend cut and all. So that is one of the things. With this, I would like to ensure an environment where every voice of the PhD students will be heard and every issue will be addressed. I want to promote an platform where all the PhD students can come up and express their thoughts very clearly without any fear. So this is my motivation of behind like nominating myself for the PhD department PhD representative. Thank you.
Okay, Samarth. Now we will move ahead to questions. The first question will be asked by our current PhD representative, Sahana. Sahana, can you hear me? Hello? Sahana, can you hear me? Okay, so I will ask a question which has been collected from the Google form which we
Sure.
had circulated.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. So the question is regarding the practical knowledge. The person says that practical knowledge is an important thing, which many a times PhD student may lack. How can we improve this aspect, and do you plan to work on this aspect?
So yes, I've included this in my manifesto. I do intend to work towards this aspect. I do think that this is a very important thing because we as a PhD students are not only to be absorbed in the academic fields, but are to be absorbed and are to be industry ready. So this is a very important initiative if I do it because we do have the pool of resources for these practical exposures. If I talk about the department itself, our faculty members are working in the field for various consultancy projects, as well as they have very wide experience for large amount of years they've been working. Apart from that, our own PhD students, certain external PhD students, they are holding good positions. They are holding good PhD positions. So basically, so for example, I just interacted with a person who has just joined PhD in ocean engineering. I'm not naming that person, but then he has been working in the Port Trust, Mumbai Port Trust since past 30 years. So we do have such students are working already as PhD who are working in the field and are joining PhDs as external PhD candidates. We can focus more on these candidates and use their extensive knowledge for the sake of improving the practical exposure.
Okay, Samarth. So next question will be asked by Sahana.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, Samad.
Hello, ma'am.
So yeah, I read your manifesto and I was like been with you for throughout the discussion. So you have put up like very good points for the welfare of PhD students. So I already know what plans are you do you want to implement like during your tenure, but I just wanted to know if you have any prior exposure of handling responsibilities during your BTech or like so BTech or MTech or so. I just
Yes.
wanted to know that.
So yeah, I've been the head of a discipline committee for my hostel in NIT Hamirpur, where I was doing my MTech. So that gave me an exposure of handling responsibilities along with various queries to be answered to the students, as well as coordinating between the different stakeholders like the warden, which are generally the faculty members, and the students. So that gave me a good exposure during my MTech. Apart from that, I have worked as a class representative for civil engineering department in my BTech also. So these are the two exposures that I do have previously that are related to the position that I'm applying for right now.
Okay, so one more thing I have to state that will not be taking name of any person. We can we can name HOD or a faculty or a faculty from transportation group, but we won't be naming them here. Okay.
Right,
So,
sir. Right.
okay. So Sahana, do you have any other question?
Yeah, that's it. Coming to my questions, but I would I have a suggestion for you that see, it's very difficult to put all the PhD students together. So like you will have to strive very hard in that direction. So that's one suggestion,
Definitely.
and you
Yes.
like how to handle the professors and students both together, and like take everyone's opinion and like make it a smooth process. So that's my suggestion.
Definitely, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now we would like to take questions from general pool. So can the ones who want to ask question, can they just keep it in chat? Okay, so I have one question which has been collected from the Google form we circulated. Uh, the student says, is there any particular funding related issue that you are addressing, and how are you going to take care about funds related to the national conference?
Okay, so yeah, there are two things that I'm like pitching for. Like first is contingency funds that may include the funds related to the stationery and small things that a PhD student may require. These may be small things, but then yeah, it can be beneficial for them. For example, each group, each guide can be allotted a certain fund from which the stationery requirements of his PhD group can be met with. So there can be a proper channel through which these things can be done. Apart from this stationary thing, the funding related to the conference, yes, it is a bit difficult thing because right now we are getting national conference funds mainly in the form of reimbursement and not the advance. Obviously international trips and international things we get through the through it in the form of an advance, but then this is generally difficulty when we are going for a national conference. We have to put the bills later on. So what I propose is instead of providing a complete advance, which may be difficult, we can at least provide an advance for two things. The first is the travel tickets, which are generally very fixed in nature, and then the registration fees. So these two things are the things which can be directly taken in the form of an advance, and then later on the bills related to other things like food and whatever other expenses may be can be put. So that can be a beneficial thing to the student. So that is the way I'm trying to go through this.
Okay, Samarth. So next question, Omkar wishes to ask a question. Omkar, can you hear
Sure,
me?
sure.
Yeah.
Hi, Samarth.
Hi, Omkar.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Huh. So, okay, great manifesto. Like you have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of points, lot of initiatives.
Yes.
So, you just mentioned about contingency while clearing
Yes.
someone's doubt. I
Yes.
want to know whom have you asked about this and what is your estimate of this contingency value? And do you really think it has to be done on the departmental level, or is it can be done on the specialization level? Like the particular specialization will take care of their own lab for their stationery
Yes.
and other purposes.
Yes. So yes, it first thing, yeah. So estimate, regarding the estimate, I have not yet gone into that estimate thing, but yes, I have consulted a lot of PhD students that are already working, maybe in their third year or fourth year. So through their experience, I have mentioned this particular point and included this particular point, and further. Yes, it can be taken up on a micro level, like no, it is not necessary to be taken up at a departmental level because it would be a bit difficult to manage in that way. But that's what I'm saying, that we can allot funds to each lab, like each guide can be allotted a certain amount of fixed fund for the entire year, through which he can like grant it to the students under him. So that way the management of the funds would be a bit simpler. The fund allotment and things would be the same as in the case of other funding related things, like a certain fixed amount will be allotted, and if that is not utilized, can be taken back at the end of the semester or even the year. So that is the way I'm trying to go through this particular thing of the contingency. um, I think I have cleared it out, or anything else you want to know?
Yeah. So basically, there is no specific estimate, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. No
No, I
problem.
have not gone through the estimate thing, but yeah, I mean, I'll be working on it and trying to find out what minimal thing or optimal thing things can be worked out here.
Yeah. Omkar, if you want to take questions from someone else, you can take it, or otherwise, I can continue if I.
Hello. Am I audible? Hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had muted myself. So okay. So if anyone else has any question, so he or she can put it in the chat box. I will unmute you, and then you can ask the question. So if anyone else has any question, please put it in the chat box. I will unmute you, and then you can ask that question. So Omkar, do you want to ask any other question?
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for unmuting me. So, I have 2, 3 more questions actually.
Sure.
I will ask proper questions first. Okay. So, you in your fourth point in the initiative, you have mentioned about the guest lectures and special lectures, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, how exactly are they different from what we currently have the CEA lectures, and also on the institute level, we have a Research Scholar Foundation which conducts a webinar, say almost every week. So, how is it different from
Yes.
this? Like, what extra will
So,
you do?
yes, okay. So I got your question. See, these things are not something like entirely new, or I'm not saying that these things are not being conducted at our departmental, sorry, at the institute level. And but the thing is, like PhD students are generally, I can say, they do not participate in it quite well because of various reasons. So to make it more interesting, instead of going outside, instead of going somewhere in the industry, also, what I feel is like if a faculty himself or his senior PhD, somebody who has worked on certain projects, have if they project these things in the department, then it can be a more interesting aspect for the student to know, because any student would be more interested in knowing what actually the his own department has done in the industry and what the department has contributed to the industry. In that way, the things would be a bit more interesting. That may say, for example, that may attract the participation and help out the students who do participate, in a way that they will get some practical exposure of what actually has been going on. So that is the thing that I want to point out.
Okay, but I'm still not clear how come is it your initiative, because you're saying that students like professors who have worked in industrial projects and along with their senior PhD students, they can conduct a small sessions, but that
Yes.
would be very specific to the specialization itself, right? I mean,
No, it is not like that, because somebody is working in some particular field. He might be having a project which is interdisciplinary. Again, I'm not saying in names. There are certain projects going on in the department which utilize remote sensing, at the same time water resource, at the same time transportation. So these things are interrelated, and such a project can definitely be projected, and then things can be worked out. So I don't think that any sticking to any particular specialization is a good idea, because yeah, obviously we have to be interdisciplinary. It is the need of the time, I guess. So that is the thing that I'm yes.
so my so basically we right now we already have such interdisciplinary kind of we can say groups or something. You know about the GROW, you might have heard. So
Yes, I've heard. Yes.
so those type of groups are already there.
Mm-hmm.
What I am unable to
Yes.
understand is exactly is the need to promote it on a departmental level when people are already doing it on their own by creating their own groups informally. Why do you have to make it a very formal platform through your
No, I'm yeah, okay. I'm not making it a formal platform. I'm just trying to encourage people to join these things. Like you are saying, grow is one thing, but then there can be other things also. Like there are different professors. I'm not telling about a particular thing that is already being going on, but then there are different projects that have been undertaken. Now, if you ask any PhD student, they might not be knowing or may not be probably aware of all the things that are going on in the department, or the works that the department is doing actually. And it is not necessary to know all the things, but yeah, it can be beneficial if you have the extensive list, and then you know, okay, this particular project, okay, I'm interested in knowing about this, and then you can okay, take up a request. Okay, there are certain group of people who are wanting to know about this particular project, and if the project in charge, the professor is willing to like share the things and share his or her knowledge, then that can be beneficial. I'm not saying there are certain groups that are informally formed, make them formal, or make new groups, or make these things formal. I'm not totally against, not even against, I can say I'm not in a support of making things formal, because that may have different like outcomes. But then making things a bit informal, that's why I included things like informal discussions and informal places and all those things also. So that way, I just want to promote and encourage the practical exposure in the best way possible to the PhD students, because that is very important, I guess.
Okay, so Sahana, would you like to give any insight on this discussion, or your view on this discussion?
Yeah. Yeah. Coming to this, what are the seminars and discussions like which you would organize separately for each for different batches, or for the interested students. Like in the grow, like what happens is, like, only water resources, ocean, and remote sensing branches are involved in that. And coming to other branches, I don't think they have any kind of interdisciplinary groups as such. So it would be good if the PhD representative can arrange seminars based on the like taking the consent of students, like how many are actually interested to attend such and such seminars. So it would actually help. And like, yeah, as a PhD rep, I have not come across any groups apart from Grow, which is like organizing such seminars. Okay, apart from PA and Grow, which are organizing such seminars. So that would be good. Like, if you can arrange through the department where the PhD rep would be involved in that, so that will be that will be more organized, and yeah, it will help.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so Omkar has one more doubt which he wishes to ask.
Yeah.
Sure,
So
sure.
thanks for the explanation, Jana. Well, since you mentioned about the informal places of
Yes,
meeting and all,
yes,
I see it in your non-academic initiatives about the
yes.
civil rooftop. Uh, I
Right,
have a very
right, right.
specific question to you.
Hmm,
Why was
hmm.
it closed? And what you are planning to do to open it up? And have you asked HOD, are they willing to open up the rooftop or not? Same goes with the cafeteria. At the same time, I see a bit of contradiction in your first and third point of your
Okay.
non-academic initiatives. There, in first point, you have
Mm-hmm.
mentioned that we can open up the rooftop from 2 to 6, like the daytime. And while in third one, you yourself are mentioning that PhDs usually work late night and working hours. So that is the actual time when they need some relaxing space and some chit chats place, or maybe like that. So I'm a bit confused about this too. And yeah, so why
Okay.
was it closed, and what will you do to open?
So first thing, why was it closed? So there are a few things, like first is the fire safety. You cannot have a like cooking space which is open, and so fire safety norms are a bit fringy, and that made it close down. And there have been issues following it, and there have been tries to reopen the things, but then to no benefit. As of now, there is no. I don't see it opening any soon. But then we have live examples that are operating. For example, the electrical engineering place that you see is a small sort of cafeteria, you can say. It is a small place where you can go have your food. And what the person does is, I've conducted a survey. I came to know that most of the things that he gets is basically from, he cooks from home, he brings the lunch from his home, he cooks it there and brings it to the cafeteria and then sells it during the lunchtime. Just by using the induction, he can do that. And things like induction, microwaves, they do not have any specific fire safety compliance requirement. And if we talk about a closed space, it has been proposed previously that the entire space of the top floor should be closed in the form of classrooms, and there should be some certain classrooms coming up along with the cafeteria. And such type of funding has been asked to the institute, which has been denied. But then what I feel is we should not be going to such a large extent, like we have to cover the entire rooftop and we have to provide and new classrooms and all those things. That can be done later on if required. But then what the thing is, like, we have a good space on the rooftop which can be utilized very well for the cafeteria. What it requires is a small closed room which can be constructed in accordance with the fire safety norms of the BMC. And then we can maybe think of closing the entire space or whatever initiatives that we want to take. So this is the first thing that I want to clarify. And the second thing is, yes, I've mentioned the timings to be 9 to 6 because of various things. We cannot keep a place of this big space open till late hours due to some security issues. But then if that is, I'm proposing it at least 9 to 6 we want to keep it open. But if it is possible, if it is like viable, we can keep it open throughout 24/7. That doesn't matter. But then at least 9 to 6 office hours it should be kept open. But then yes, what I feel is we do require, generally what we do is, as a PhD student, whenever we are working till late hours, the more important things that we look for is generally tea or a coffee. Generally PhD students will have to then travel huge distances like till H1 or H10. It will obviously take up at least 1 hour to go back, come back, have coffee, have tea. It consumes a lot of time. But then yes, we can provide a tea and coffee vending machine that would solve major of the issues for the late night working hours. And this way, the 2 points, I don't see any contradiction as you said, but I'm just clarifying that. So first point is related to having a cafeteria informal. Okay, yeah. So first point is related to having an informal sitting spaces along with the cafeteria. And the second point is completely just having a separate vending machine for the tea and coffee. So these are the two things.
Okay, so I guess Samarth has answered this question well, and the reasons stated are also well. So currently, I would also like to add that on weekdays, the morning 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., the rooftop can be accessed by students for sitting and, let's say, discussing. Right now, that access is also there, but only on the weekdays. So I guess we have taken plenty questions. Thanks to Sahana and Omkar for asking insightful questions. I hope that the manifesto points will become more clear to all PhD students. And now I will request Samarth to give his closing statement. The time limit is 2 minutes.
Okay, so I have covered most of the points that I've included and also shown in the manifesto. With the queries being answered, I hope I am a bit clearer on what I actually want to do with being or holding this particular position. But at the same time, I would like to welcome suggestions as from Omkar right now. I would like to welcome such more suggestions and insights from not only just 1 or 2 or 3 PhD students, but many more PhD students. We are the ones who are like literally in the department for so long time, and we have to speak up and at least represent ourselves, what the problems are, represent it to me without any fear. If I become a PhD representative, I'll definitely take up these points and try to resolve as much things as possible in accordance, in coordination with all the PhD students. Like I am their representative, so that is the way I would look at it. So thank you everybody who asked the questions. Thank you for the insights, and please do vote. And so thank you. That's it.
Hello, am I audible?
Atul, I had accidentally unmuted myself. Okay. So Atul,
Okay.
you start with your opening statement. The time is 3 minutes.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Atul P, and I'm contesting for the post of MTech representative in this academic year. So, I hope you have all seen my manifesto, and I think I'll reiterate some of those points here now. So, one is that I promise to be your voice in the CA, that is Civil Engineering Association, as well as the DPGC, which is Department Postgraduate Committee. And I'll make sure that all your concerns are, in fact, raised to a higher authority, and I'll see that, I'll try to ensure that proper follow-up is done. So even while preparing this manifesto, I've contacted almost all the CRs and I've collected information from them. So just like that, I think in my tenure also, I'll do the same. I'll collect information from everybody. I'll keep in touch with most number of people I can, and then I'll ensure that most of your concerns reaches a responsible authority. Okay, then some of the other points that I've mentioned in my manifesto includes organizing interactive and informal sessions. We know that this is a pandemic situation and we're kind of locked out, and our authorities have described, they've decided that this semester will be entirely on distance mode. So I think there is a need for an online session, where informal or interactive session where people can actually get together. I mean, the freshers, they won't be even able to see their classmates. So I'm planning to organize an online meet kind of thing where they can actually interact among themselves and also talk to their seniors and know how, whatever doubts they have, they can clarify that way. Then another point is that, a cloud library. I can arrange a cloud library by getting books from people, upload it, and they can easily access it. Then to conduct workshops to give industry-oriented software training. So this is something that was suggested by a particular class rep. So I think that also has been included in my initiatives. Then to organize symposiums, technical and non-technical, and also other interactive sessions where you get to talk with other field experts and to share your ideas. Then soft skill training. This is also actually told to me by one person. So because not everybody is comfortable conversing in English or even for writing, so soft skill training can also be arranged. Then similarly, this COVID situation is, we all know that the gravity is very much. So the situation is bad. People are always in a state of worry and anxiety as how to proceed with the project or what to do if we don't get a placement. So I think I'll arrange counseling sessions where we can actually open ourselves, and in that way I think it will be somewhat better for our mental state of mental affairs. So these are my key initiatives. So in spite of this, if I'm elected, I promise that I'll be always available to you. I'll take up all your concerns and I'll see to it that it is properly done. Yeah. Hello.
Okay, thank you, Atul, for the opening statement. Now our MTech representative, Manish Yadav, will be asking question.
Hello, Atul.
Yes, hello.
Yeah. So when I go through your manifesto, in the initiative section, in second point, you mention about the arrangement of cloud library. How are you going to arrange this cloud library, and how it is different from the online library of our central library? And in the same question, did you did some groundwork related to this? So this is my question.
You mean did I do a groundwork about this cloud library? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I really thought about this is if I will be able to collect all the PDFs or whatever my seniors have, and if I'm able to upload it into a particular site, a cloud storage facility where it is easily accessible for me, it would be easy. Similarly, if I can upload whatever I have also and then allow the juniors to access it, so that's the basic idea of it. So that, because nowadays it's not really possible to visit the library, right, and to take books. So that's the basic idea behind it. Now about the online library facility that is there, actually I'm not pretty aware of. If all the books are available to be downloaded openly, I'm not aware about that. So that was my idea about this. And about the groundworks, actually I've like this idea was given to me by SC student companion. Like he said they were really planning on this, so it'll be good if we could continue with this.
Okay, good. And I have also suggestion on this. Do you know about the CDP lectures which are available on IT websites?
Sorry, about what?
CDP lectures. This is some lecture series of like mainly courses of which are going throughout the semesters.
Yes, I know. Yes, like CDP.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Like
Yeah.
it is available online, right? Yeah, I've accessed
So,
it last semester also. Yeah.
So you can like talk with the professors to regarding this about increasing the lecture numbers or because very few numbers of the lectures are the available of this. Very few subjects are available on that.
Yes.
So it
Yes.
can be like helpful for this point. And
Yeah,
I have
okay.
I have also suggestion like please go through the MTech rule book. It will help you all over the year to like solving different types of the problems which will be occur in coming months.
Okay.
This is all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'll definitely go the rule book. Yeah, thank you for
Okay,
this suggestion.
thank you, Manish. So we have our current PG cultural representative Raju here. Raju, do you have any input or question?
Hello, Atul. It
Hello.
is still not clear how you will be implementing your second initiative.
You mean the cloud library?
Cloud library, yes. Because we already have DC++ and also the central library.
Okay.
And what is your idea?
Okay, the doubt from my side is all the books freely available to be downloaded from the central library? I mean, I don't think all the books are freely available to be downloaded from the central library. So my basic idea is to collect the books whichever passing out student, for example, my seniors or even I am using, and if I'm able to upload that into a particular cloud, I in the sense the entire panel together, we can work out a way for it, and then the access can be actually given to the junior students, and then they won't have a difficulty to study the books that their seniors have referred to. So that was the basic motive of the point.
Okay, so I guess that answers that question. So please, who else would like to ask a question? Ankur, our current aura, Ankur Tiwari is here. Ankur, do you have any question for Atul? Okay. So please write down your questions in the chat box so that I get to know who wants to ask the question. So Vinay is also here, our who was company coordinator. Vinay, do you have any question for Atul?
No. Continue.
Okay. So please let me know if any other candidate has any question. Okay. Anyone from the junior batch? Anyone from the junior batch who is present? So Ankur is sending me the question. Okay, so I guess our Anas wants to ask a question. I will just unmute him.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Anas, I have.
Yeah, hi, Atul.
Hello.
I gone through your manifesto. It is good. I think you done good work with your current batchmates and all. So how you are planning for the coming first years, because that is more important. As a tech representative, you have to you are representing both first years and second years, right? So they are completely online. They are completely new to this atmosphere. So how you planned it? Like what was your concern about upcoming batch?
Yeah, so actually thinking of this first year batch only, I've mentioned the first 2 points of my initiatives. That is, basically they won't be able to see their friends or to acquaint themselves with their classmates or seniors. So something that I propose is to arrange an online interactive session where they get to talk to each other, where they get to know who their classmates are or who their seniors are, where they get to talk freely. I mean, an informal session, maybe we can arrange some games, or maybe even in association with the cultural representative, we can do some cultural activities online. So that was what I was really thinking. And secondly, the second point also associated with this cloud library, it is also aimed at the first years only for them to access books online and free. So those are something that I've considered, where I've considered the first years.
Regarding the second point, even some of our batchmates also have some clarification, like they have some doubt for that. So please, like after this also you can talk to them and find like how it can be possible, like take more groundwork for that. And while planning the interactive section also, like you have to be more concerned about first years, because what we can say now, lot of people will face internet issues, all those things. So you have to
like
so
that
I'm
is
talking,
also something which like, I mean, I was really planning to, you know, circulate a form or something where we can identify people with a I mean, with poor internet or infrastructure. And then, you know, because I've come to know that the government has allowed, I mean, there's been money allotted for this to the college. So if I can raise this matter of a particular person to the department, and if they can do something about it, so that way also I've been thinking.
Okay, you have to like just coordinate with our department coordinator, ISCP, all those things, and you have to work for that. Like, you just give an suggestions, not like you from your manifesto.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the suggestion.
Yeah, fine. Fine, Omkar. You can continue.
Okay. Thank you, Anas. There is a question from Ankur Tiwari, who is our aura. So his question is that how does a single how will you be as a single person, MTech representative as a single person, how will you be able to reach out to the problems of individual students? Like there is an entire team of ISCP and DC companions are there. So how will you make yourself more available?
Okay, so something, some input that I've got from the groundwork is that my senior batch, I mean, the currently elected members have formed a WhatsApp group among themselves to keep themselves informed about everything that is really happening. So similarly, we'll also make a good group where we can communicate easily with each other. Similarly, as I mentioned before, I'll keep in touch with all the class representatives where, and they can actually inform me about any issues that they face in their batch or with any person. And in spite of this also, you know, I can really talk to people in my batch or even in the junior batch. I can really ask them what their problem is. So, but yeah, getting the information through CRs is one of the main ideas that I have. So, I mean, that is the most common idea, of course. So that's the way I was really planning to, you know, it's basically, it's not to work alone, it's to work as a team.
Okay, Atul. So now I think we have taken a pretty number of questions. So I also enabled now the option for muting and unmuting to the participants. So we'll be taking the last question. If anyone else has a question, please unmute yourself and please ask the question. So I guess we can move ahead. So I'll request Atul now to give his closing statement.
Okay, so basically, if I'm elected, yeah, I'll try to implement whatever I've mentioned in my manifesto. And in spite of this, I mean, I'll always be open to everybody and all the suggestions that comes my way. And this SEM particularly being online, there are a lot of problems that are bound to arise. So like I'll put my best effort forward to see that it's all sorted out properly. And if you feel that I'm fit for the post, yeah, do support me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Atul. So we will move ahead now with the soapbox of our PG cultural representative candidate, Shana Raj. So I'll request Shana to unmute herself and start the video.
Yes, am I audible? Hello.
Yeah, Shana. Just.
Yeah. So I'm Shana Raj first. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Shana. So you may go ahead with the opening statement of yours for 3 minutes.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So I'm Shana Raj, first year MTech from Transportation Systems Engineering. So I'm contesting for the post of PG Cultural Representative. And now I would like to brief some of my initiatives and duties. And of course, they have framed in such a way that they could cope with the current scenario. And so if elected as a PG Culture representative, I will be implementing online competitions, the music competition, photography competition, stand-up comedy, etc. Then, of course, workshops. Then weekend multi-talent shows where people get to see each other and interact with each other. And then acknowledge the winners by sharing their works among the maximum student population. That means this is something I've been experiencing, that people are not getting enough acknowledgement for what they do. So yeah, like if I have conducted an online competition, and if somebody have come up with a great work, that should be acknowledged, and it should be circulated and floated among the maximum student groups. So yeah, that's another initiative. And next one is prepare magazines and booklets presenting the selected artworks, writings, and photographs, which will keep the students motivated and enhance their creativity. And then the other thing, another initiative is something which we have been thinking of, not just myself, and I've even discussed this with the candidate contesting for the MTech representative. So we have been thinking about this informal meetings where all the MTechs, PhDs, everyone will be involved, and will be including cultural activities and games, kind of ice-breaking session. This will be kind of an ice-breaking session for the juniors as well. So yeah, that kind of informal meetings once in a while. So yeah, next one is duties. Of course, the major duty like coming up is the orientation that has to be conducted for the new entrants, and inform them about the cultural activities that usually happens in the campus, and exclusively for the PG population, that is PG Cult phase 1 and phase 2 that generally happens. And of course, the timely conveyance of the information that of the cultural activities that happens in the institute level. So yeah, so that if I could convey those informations timely, our students of our department will get opportunity to participate. So yeah, these are the initiatives and duties listed out. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Shana. Now we'll be going to the questions. So first 2-3 questions will be asked by our current department PG cultural representative, Mr. Rajiv.
Sure.
Hi, Sana.
Hi.
For your first initiative about weekend multi-talent show, can you give some examples how you
Sure.
are going to?
Sure. So before a weekend show, multi-talent show, of course, before every meeting, an agenda will be set. So it will be like I would like to float a Google form where people have to enter their name, their batch, and of course the talent or the activity they would like to perform. So after that, then have to decide upon a time, and then arrange an online meeting. Then, of course, according to the list I have made, I can call or invite the students who have registered, and then ask them to perform whatever they have to, like that.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it could be even music. It could be like there won't be any classification of genre. They can come up with any kind of talent they have.
Now I don't have any question, and I have a suggestion that for intra-departmental activities, you can also include the UG peoples.
Okay. Yeah.
and we can conduct any activities among the whole department where UG people and
These are
PG
also
people
involved.
can also participate.
Okay, fine. I'll think about it. Sure, thank you.
Okay, so thanks, Raju. So if there are other questions from other participants, please unmute yourself and ask the question. So if there is a, okay, I would like to ask one question to Shana. So Shana, what I have observed in past 2-3 years in the department is that the cultural representative is actually a representative of all PG students, not just the MTech. So, but almost every year he or she is elected from MTech. But after getting elected, how do you plan to reach out to the MTech students since you are their batchmate? It will be easier to reach out to them and they will be more interested in the activities. But since the PhD students are more busy in the research and more inclined in their work only, so how do you plan to reach out to the PhD students to participate in the activities? And is there any particular initiative which particularly focuses on PhD students?
This is something even I have been observing as well, because any kind of events, even MTechs are also like even though they have enough talent, they don't come up. This happens even more seriously with the PhD, among the PhD students. So even that the last initiative which I have mentioned, that informal meetings, it actually involves PhDs also. This I cannot do it wholly by my own. Like I have to get enough support from the MTech representative and PhD representative to ensure the maximum participation. So yeah, so whoever will be elected as a PhD representative have to like, it's a collaborative event which I'm looking forward to.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other question from any other participant? We have time, therefore I'm asking.
Hi, Shana.
Hi.
In your initiative number 2, like you told, like acknowledge the winners and all.
Yes, yes.
So how you are planning to acknowledge, like which mode you are using?
Now whatever there is existing, I can just, if I have conducted an online competition, for example, say it is a music competition and I have a winner with me, and I for the online competitions, of course I can record whatever is happening, so then the recordings can be floated among the groups. And actually I have thinking of something else too, which I haven't listed in my manifesto, that is a YouTube channel exclusively for the PG civil cultural activities, but I didn't include in my manifesto because I'm currently I'm not pretty sure about the number of activities that would come up. So once I get once I get to know that there is enough participation and people are coming forward, then I'll have enough work to put up in that YouTube channel. So even that's why I didn't mention right now, but I'm actually thinking about it.
That's why I asked, like, do you have any like Insta page or something, starting Insta page or?
Yeah,
actually,
currently I have just, okay.
Actually, you guys, like you coordinate with sports, can make a PG sport, a PG Insta page or something, so you can do this kind of things in that. That's a suggestion.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you.
We have our Civil Engineering Association GSEC, Yash Agarwal here. Yash, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I was just saying that there is already a YouTube page of SIA. So if you have the events, you can directly upload it there. You don't have to create a new page for that.
Okay, so Yash says we already have a YouTube channel for our association page, and all department activities can be uploaded there. So okay, so Rajiv, is there, or from anyone else, is there any other question? They can unmute yourself and ask. Otherwise, we will move ahead.
I am done, Onkar.
Okay, so any other question? Okay. Okay, so I guess there is no other question. So now I'll request Shana to give her closing statement.
Yeah, so I know the my work doesn't confine within the activities and initiatives which I have already listed. So, of course, and I understand that I'm supposed to work with the entire council for any other activities, even something other than cultural activities also. So, if elected as a PG cultural representative, I'll be actively participating in any kind of activities that the our civil engineering association would be taking up, and of course, uh, try to complete whatever I have mentioned in my manifesto, and even more if I could. Yeah. So I request you all to support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Shana. So now we will move ahead with the soapbox for our PG sports representative candidate, who is Mr. Anurag Pal. I will request Anurag now to unmute himself and start the video and start with the opening statement of his. And the time limit for the opening statement is 3 minutes.
Yeah, so hello everyone. I'm Anurag Pal and I'm from MTech Ocean Engineering. So first of all, I hope that you all are safe and healthy at your places. And for in this department elections, I am contesting for the post of PG Sports representative. So I have done some groundwork with our existing sports techie and some sports techie of different departments and some of the students who are actively participating in the sporting events. So from there, I have added some initiatives in my manifesto. From their suggestions, I have added some of the points, and uh, so some of my key initiatives would be to acknowledge our players who are participating and winning the competitions in the PGGC by having a kind of notice board in our department, especially for the sports events. So there we can acknowledge our players, their winnings and their achievements. Next would be that in this during this pandemic, we know that everything is going online. So right now sporting events are not possible. So my aim would be to organize some PUBG events or Call of Duty events or some chess battles, so that the new entrants, the new entrants, PG entrants would be like uh, so new PG entrants would be like they would be really enthusiastic after joining this IIT Bombay. So they should not be embarrassed by like there is no kind of activities going on. So I would be you know I would be organizing such events like everybody of our age is playing PUBG and Call of Duties and other games. So I would be engaging them in a civil department battle kind of thing. So we would be having inter-specialization, or we can have PG UG battles, and we can make a room especially for this civil department PUBG events and for this COD events. Next would be like I would try very hard to provide participation certificates. So this is one thing which I found that is lacking in our department, that we are not providing any kind of certificates to our students even when they are participating in such PGGC events which are at a institute level. So I would be trying to provide participation certificates. Next would be like I would try to organize fitness camps. Health is really important, so I would try to organize fitness camps in the hostel, like H13 or 12. So I have seen H12 gyms, and they have pretty good machines and they have a pretty good gym. So I think we can organize fitness camps over there. Next would be like my initiative would be to one of the initiatives, like I would be trying to have sporting events or sports events with the inter-specialization battles. So we can have inter-specialization sports events where PGs and PhDs can compete. So amongst the 7 specializations of PGs, we can see who wins the events. And another would be to to increase the UG and PG interaction between the students. So we can organize some interdepartmental sports events. So the thing is that right now also sports week is being organized. So that is being organized, I think, in even semesters. So I think I would be trying to organize those things in both the semesters. Next is that I would be trying to create an attractive yearbook. So I would ensure that there are recent photographs of teams participating in the PGC events, and that would be included in the yearbooks. And there, one thing is lacking in our PGGC events is like we are not having hockey and kabaddi sports, and I think weightlifting also is not there in PGGC events. So I would be trying to, with the consent of Sports Council, I would be trying to, have these sports in the PGC events. And I have also added some of my responsibilities, like to ensure first aid kits. Safety of our players is very important, and to have some practice sessions. So practice sessions are really important. Players are really good at sports, but due to lack of practice, we can.
Anurag, please wind up.
Yeah. So I would be having some kind of practice sections, and I would be ensuring that from my side and from my squad there is full support and motivation for all the teams which are participating in the PGGC event. So these are some of the key initiatives and responsibilities which I would be taking care of if I get elected. Then
Okay,
thank you.
so thank you, Anurag. Now we move ahead to questions. So first of all, our current PG Sports representative, Mr. Anas, will ask questions to Anurag.
Hi, Anurag.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Yeah, cool. So, talking about your initiatives, and it's good that you are planning online events in the first semester, and if we come back, we will plan some other events in the second semester. But you first thing you mentioned, like you want to plan 2 sports week and departments weekend, right? In both semester. Hello.
Yeah.
So, what you are planning in the first semester then? Same online event? Like, yeah. Hello. Hello.
Apart from online events.
Nee, you told us your initiative. You want to plan 2 sports weekend, one in first semester and another in second semester. So, what is your planning for the first semester?
First semester, I think sports weekend would not be possible, but what I'm planning is to go online. Everything would be online, and to make have a kind of online interaction with all the PG new entrants, because they are not aware what all sports are being played in the institute. We have a lot of sports, and physically we cannot tell them where everything is, like all sports are played. They don't even know about gymkhanas and everything. But the thing is that at least we can make them aware that what all sports are being played in the institute, so that if we have some interested candidates, so we can float the this group links which we have made. We have database of players, so we can float that group links, and the interested students can join those group links, and afterwards once the institute opens, we can move to practice slots.
Okay, and that is fine. And organizing fitness camp in hostel 12, 13. But these hostels will provide hostel gyms are available only for those hostel. Like you can't take other hostel students into that particular hostel gym. So you can, but if basically if we do practicing in the table tennis yard and all, but problem is like either like any complaint happen, it will be problem for you. So all the general things you have to do in general gym means new gym or something. You can find suitable timing for that, like early morning when people will be less. Like that you have to plan, not in the hostel gyms. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see the participation from new entrants if they are not available, and only the final years are available, so we can have that in H12. Otherwise, we'll move on to the main gymkhana.
That's all. Like even if you say only for second years, it's fine. You will all together in one of the gym, like either 12 or 13. But again, PhD people will be there. PhD will be like some are in 13, some are in 12, like that. So try to make all these things in common areas where everybody can access without any complaint.
Correct.
Okay. So do you know how this notice board things? I've seen notice board things. So this was I also try to plan. This can be possible. Like
the problem is that this thing has been like coming up from like past 2-3 years, and we have not been successful in doing so. But the thing is that I have talked to current general secretary also, that how to take things forward. So he has assured me that you can talk to the the elected general secretary, and together they can approach the HOD, and then we can have discussion about this thing. So it is really important to acknowledge. Maybe we can have this sports plus cult event notice board. So whoever is parting in non these extracurricular activities, they must be acknowledged, so that we as a department we should take care in mind. So maybe we can have
Okay.
one common notice board for all extracurricular activities.
So what about participation certificates? Like
So yeah,
who will sign for all those things?
correct. So the thing is that even if I start giving this certificate, so the printing cost won't be given by the department. So I have thought of giving some e-certificates. So we'll have a kind of template,
So
and we'll
Anurag,
have
I have
some.
one
Yeah.
clarification here. So the events which you will be conducting only for on your own, and along with the department council, for the students, in which only the department students will be participated. Those events can be conducted under Civil Engineering Association, and for all those participants, we can give the certificates, and the cost will be borne by the department. But for those competitions which are like held by the ICC, Institute Cultural Council, so actually, even though we wish to bear the cost of the certificates, we are not authorized to certify the students. Correct. If any certificate is to be given for the candidate, for the students who are participating in ICC competitions, the certificate can be issued only by the ICC. The department will not be authorized to award participants to those students. Okay. So you can continue.
Okay.
So, like Omkar told, what I am adding is in the participation certificate thing. For the PGGC participation and all, you can try for a e-certificate. I don't think that me and Omkar will discuss a lot for this thing. Actually, will sign for this for just for acknowledging them. We can provide participation certificate. And for that, you can bear a fund from you. You have some fund. PG Sports of Civil Department have some direct fund from HOD. So for that you can use, because this semester there won't be any refreshment, all those things. So you can try for transfer this fund for these kind of things.
Yeah. Okay. We can do so. Correct.
And the last point, hockey, kabaddi. So do you think it is possible in this year, in your tenure?
I'm being positive and thinking that second semester, this after December the institute will reopen. So just I'm thinking that if it reopens, then I can try for that. But this year it's really hard to do so.
Yeah, it is very like already we have to conduct around 20 events, plus hockey and kabaddi will be difficult. And mostly there will be like lot of cut short of events happening the next semester. So anyway, take it positive. Try from your side.
Yeah.
Okay, rest is fine. Like you already done groundwork also. So
okay, thank you. Next, yeah, please complete.
Yeah, fine, Omkar. You can continue.
Just if anyone else has question, they can just unmute themselves and ask the question.
Yes, Omkar, I have a question. So Anurag, I guess you are already a company coordinator, is it right?
Yeah, correct.
Yes. So do you know that a company coordinator is itself a very engaging post, and talking about PG sports representativity, it is also a very engaging post. So do you have idea about how you are going to manage this?
So these two posts, I know that they demand quite a lot of hard work, but the thing is that we are in this pandemic and we are at home, so we have some extra time as well. We are not in an institute, so we don't have any classes kind of thing, or we don't have that hard schedule over here. So the positive thing is that we have some extra time over here, and the other thing is that for CC also, I think the work which is done over there, so I have that experience. So I'm not, I've worked in some firm after BTech, and I have that experience of what work CC does, so I have that experience already. So we can, don't have to learn a lot in the CC work process. So that would be, others might take some time to understand those work, but I already know some of the work. So it would not be that much, tough for me to manage both of the posts. So I think that I would be able to manage both of the things.
Okay. So all the best for this. And
Yeah, thank you.
I have a general suggestion for both PG cult representative and sports that they can organize intra-departmental activities with collaboration of UG councils also, like
Yeah.
treasure hunt and any sports activities or cult activities.
Yeah. So one thing which I haven't mentioned in this manifesto is that, as Yash said that we have a YouTube channel of SIA. So over there, I was thinking that, when I'll be organizing some online events of PUBG and making a room, so over there we can live stream those events. So that would be really nice. So,
Yes.
you have to do work in collaboration, obviously, to extract a lot of participation from our department.
Yes, that's from my side.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, correct, Yash.
Omkar, do you have any question? Please unmute and ask the question.
So hi. First of all, great initiatives. I like
Thank
most
you.
of them. I just want to ask you, like the two consecutive initiatives where you have mentioned inter-specialization events, and the next one where you have mentioned events between UG and PG, right?
Yeah.
How is it different from the sports weekend we have in January? Every year we do have, right?
Yeah.
How will it be different from that? Like we already have a huge event called as sports weekend, which is not a single weekend. It's actually a 2 weekend or maybe 3 weekends
Yeah.
sometimes. So yeah, how will it be different in this
So the
case?
thing is that when I am mentioning like interdepartmental UGPG sports, so I was referring to that sports week only. But the thing is that it is happening only in one semester. So I was thinking if it can happen in the previous semester as well. And the thing where I'm talking about interspecialization sports events is that we have 7 specializations in our PG. So we can have some sort of battle between those 7 specializations only, and we can see like who is the winner amongst those specializations. So that would increase a sort of competitiveness between our PG students. So this is a difference, I think.
Okay, I'm not quite convinced on this because like the population of each specialization is close to 8, 10, or maybe just above 15 maybe. And
Then we can add PhDs as well. We have PhDs in that specializations as well.
the question is, so see, basically it's like if we compare this with cultural event, cultural, many of the events, if not group dance and all, they are individual, and we can have 2-3 participants as well from one particular team or one particular section, but you can't play kabaddi with 3 people in a team, right? So that's what my concern was. But anyway, no issues, we can think over it. Another doubt I have is basically you mentioned that you want to organize the sports weekend, something like sports weekend in the first semester. That's anyway not possible right now, and even in any general semester when there is no pandemic and all,
Okay.
it's not usually possible. I heard you that you
Actually, I
mentioned.
was not. Yeah, continue, please.
Yeah, you tell what you're saying.
Actually, I was just referring not about the sports, week or something, but we can have at least, in the first semester, we can have like 3 days or 2 days events, Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Saturday. We can have just 2 days or 3 days event, so that every, in the first semester itself, every player and every, we can have that competitive nature between all of our students, and they can participate with full enthusiasm, because as newly PG enters the college, they have certain hopes, and they are full of enthusiasm. So I think we should.
So sorry to interrupt you here. Have you followed the institute sports calendar?
Institute? No, I have not seen that.
Okay. If you see the institute sports calendar, there is no not a single on ground, or as we say it as the open event all up to October. the first open event that usually happens, if I'm not wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, is the trio GC that used to happen, the cycling plus swimming plus this. And there is a very specific reason, which is monsoon. And because of
Yeah.
monsoon, literally no event, no sporting event, outdoor sporting event can happen up to September at least. Grounds itself open after October, close to after September, in October mid somewhat. So
Correct.
that is the concern. What you're saying is correct, that when PGs and UGs enter, they are very enthusiastic about this. But max to max, what happens is Freshie GC, Sophie GC, PGG, sorry, not GC, Crossy, Freshie Crossy, Sophie Crossy, and the PG Crossy. Not you can't do more than, you can't play cricket during the monsoon.
So
So
you know we
that's
have
the
like so you know the all PG new entrants are placed in single hostel only. Like they have a same hostel. So I think that we can organize some sort of indoor sports in that hostel only. So like pool, carom, chess. So I think we can do some sort of thing to engage the new entrants. My aim is not to do only outdoor sports, but to in some way to engage those new entrants. So we'll have to discuss with this with other people also, and together with I think with Civil Engineering Association as well, I'll discuss, and together we can come up with some solution to organize something for our PG entrants.
okay. Great, thanks. That's it from my side.
Okay, so any participant has any other question to Anurag, please unmute yourself and ask the question. So Anas, can we move ahead now? Hello, Anas is here.
Yeah, I am Konka.
So if there are no more questions, can we move ahead to the closing statement of Anurag?
Yeah, fine. Well, I will tell one more thing, like just add. See, this is to both Anurag and Shana and Atul. You can like try to. I already mentioned to Atul. Coming first year is the biggest challenge because we current council didn't have these kind of challenges. For your second years, it is fine whether you are in home or like do online or offline in campus. No problem. You already know each other. So you have to work for the coming first years more. You have to focus more on the coming first years. They are very important. Like they don't know this culture. They don't know all of these things. So you have to work for this. Okay. You all three sit together. Sit together means plan like together and work how you can do interaction section. How you can make more interactive.
Yeah,
We can
correct. So
make any ice. We can make any ice breaking challenge, but how you ensure these all people are participating, that is more important.
Yeah, so the thing is that we are in a committee, and we together have to ensure that in any event, so the maximum participation should be coming from new PG side. So together, like from Cult and from MTech Rep, that is the thing that they also would have to ensure that we can have maximum participation in any sort of event, like if even if it's a sporting event or any cult event. So we all three of us should do something. We should do publicity and something in the WhatsApp group so as to increase the participation.
Yeah, that is really a
And
good motivation. Yeah.
one more thing, like you just add like all three, like if any people are not participating, try to contact them personally and like understand like why they are not participating, like that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so okay, so now we had almost we have given enough time for questions, and I hope we could cover many questions, and it was now we will go to the closing statement of Mr. Anurag.
Yeah, so if elected, I would ensure that the ranking of civil department in the PGGC is improved, and my main aim would be to hunt down the talents, brightest talents from our civil engineering department, so that we can.
Anurag, I have a cross question here. What is the current ranking of civil engineering PG
So
students?
Yeah, so in the PJGC event, so up till this boys badminton, civil was at top. Afterwards, I think it was not published in the FB page. I could only find this up to boys GC, badminton GC. The ranking was civil first, math second, and mechanical third. So afterwards, there was some events like basketball. We have secured medals. So I think mechanical must have improved their
So,
ranking, but
Anas, do you have the
there was
information?
a
What is our
cut
current
competition.
situation?
They didn't fix yet. Yeah, they
Okay, so
also were like,
when it was the last, I saw that ours was the first. So I think
yeah, that was
you
in
just need to
February.
maintain. So
Our
okay.
girls were champions only anyway. Girls, we will be champion. Boys, I don't, not sure. Like, so Anurag, you work for like more on boys to improve the ranking.
Yeah, surely. Okay, Anurag, please continue.
Yeah, so if elected, that would be my main motivation, and I would be ensuring that we would be having enough practice sessions so as to so that everybody from our department is getting enough chance to showcase their talents. And to hunt down the talents, I would be requesting my friends and my squad also to join us who are expertise in some sports. So together we'll form a great squad for any of the PGGC events. Plus additionally, I would ensure that what all are my responsibilities, I would be doing that. And anything like from first aid kits or proper ensuring transparency in the PGC events, everything I would ensure. And just I need your support, looking forward for your support, and do vote at 6 July. Thank you.
Okay, so that was great, Anurag. Now I would like to thank all the four candidates. First, Samarth, then Atul, Shana, and Anurag for answering the questions in a very polite and informative way, and also for the opening statements and the closing statements. I hope this soapbox we could get to know and get the clarification on most of the soapbox, the manifesto points of the candidates. I also thank the present council members of our department and all other students who are present in this soapbox. And now I would like to conclude this particular soapbox here. For the CA GSEC soapbox, we have scheduled at 3:15, and the link has been emailed to all of you. So I would also request all of you to join that soapbox also. Thank you.